That's so good that you didn't hear what I said. Something along the lines of, especially in this talk, I don't want to look at myself. So good evening, everybody. We've just arrived home, back to one of our homes in this time back in Glastonbury. So we're a little bit frazzled. So if you could bear with us, should we be incoherent and so thank you. The theme of this evening is non-dual charisma. It's a new one. So let's start with the non-dual charisma in us greets the non-dual charisma in you. And the beautiful thing is that just by saying that, it arouses something of the magic of what that is, this word charisma, what it's referring to, what this quality is. And a primary aspect of that magic is the pure equality of it. That there is no such thing as charisma without a meeting position of one consciousness with another consciousness. It's when two meet, and in this magical moment, this magical explosion of sentience, they become one, something essential, something of immense beauty, wonder, mystery, merges. It's almost like a dimension shift. So what do we think charisma is? What's a charisma complex? Well, a charisma complex is, I'm the dude, like Michael Jackson, whatever. It's to be adored, coming from that place of wanting universal love, to be loved alone, to be loved as a separate self, to be to be loved uniquely, and not just uniquely, exclusively, to have power over others. Adoration, which involves, if you just listen to the word adoration, this duality of adoration, this contracted aspect, it involves a kind of contraction, a kind of wishful thinking, a kind of projection, a kind of worship. And while it might be quite healthy psychological to adore outwardly, to seek adoration, can lead to something a little bit like Hungry Ghost Land, looking for love me, do, please love me, do you love me now? Do more people love me? Who in the room doesn't love me? Everyone must love me, to the extent that very important people might be especially obsessed with just those few people over there in California that reject them. Because it has to be absolute, this adoration. And this is feeding a kind of power trip, a power allure, which is not the charisma of a non-dual nature which we're talking about, the charisma that Jesus might have had, or the prophet Elijah, or the Buddha. The real charisma, the non-dual charisma. Non-dual charisma is something else altogether. It doesn't take anything away. It doesn't compete. It doesn't need to be defended. It doesn't protest. It doesn't fight. It doesn't exclude. It doesn't need to divide. So what is it? So charisma as a word by itself is connected with the shining of what's essential. Another way to say it would be the glow of true nature, the transmission or the escape of the light of pure being, of the qualities, often showing up with this particular vibrancy when someone is using their talents, or they forget, they are the dancer is so much within the dance that she doesn't see herself anymore. There is just this movement of life. Or the painter's so much inside the painting that he becomes the painting. Or the mathematician is so deeply inside the music of mathematics that this is all that there is, this sound. They disappear. It's quite the opposite of the egoic, narcissistic kind of charisma idea. It involves the subsidence of the personality and the ego. Certainly in moments, so that there can be a revelation of what we are actually made of. Now, the qualities of our true nature, of which there are hundreds of ways to describe what is this true nature, once we begin to give it space. These qualities, this true nature, this being here now for real, alive, in this moment, has an incredible activating effect. It has a pulling power. It has an arousing power, because the moment you move next to somebody who is really present in their heart, or just totally in the aliveness, open in the here and now, by itself, we also move into that vibration. We're pulled into that vibration. Something opens up in perception, and the love in us sees the love in them, or the peace in us feels the resonance of the peace in them. There's an incredible attraction there, a law of attraction where quality seeks quality, or quality is seeking to find itself from the inside to the outside, from the outside to the inside. This is much more the direction of charisma. When you think, even if you look at what would be maybe the most, adoring, as if personality thing, look at the area of beauty. So a really, really, really beautiful woman, what makes her beautiful? It's not she wears the best clothes, or she has the best arrangement of features, or that she has perfect hair. All of that could be like ticking boxes. It's when she's least paying attention. It's when she's least making any effort. It's when she's accidentally caught unawares and something is shining of the naturalness of beauty. Or the beauty in the perceiver is awakened. The eye of beauty is awakened, and it resonates, it meets. It's those little natural dissonances. The naturalness. And of course, when we talk about naturalness, we're talking about true nature as it reverberates through the heart, through the body, through the mind even. So charisma is really an interesting one, because there is an incredible attraction, an incredible intelligence in how true nature seeks true nature through form. In this creative endeavor that we're all part of, where the intimate sense of freedom in us awakens and is drawn towards the intimate sense of freedom in another, which is the same freedom. And it's very, very attractive to us, especially when something inside of us is not yet free completely to be. The freedom is not yet free completely to be. So it's incredibly healing to be near a place where the freedom is more allowed to be, because it brings it into life. There's a healing function. And especially when the freedom meets the freedom, and there's this atmosphere of combined freedom, for example. It's not mine, it's not yours, it's not the others. It's something else, and it's all of ours. There's such a power to it. There's such a service in it. You know, to be a channel of peace or a channel of freedom or a channel of bliss or a source of love or a reminder of wisdom or to stand up with the doorway open to universal kindness, just saying that, allowing the kindness to be here, allowing the kindness of true nature to be alive. This is incredibly fulfilling. It's not asking something, but it's immediately moving us into an extremely fulfilling and happy life and moving the whole field into a vibration of happiness and fulfillment and well-being. And so it's so interesting, this quality charisma, because we can all do that. We could all walk through the streets of Amsterdam, reverberating, transmitting universal peace, and yet we don't. And it's very interesting because it means that this quality of charisma is connected with where we get screwed up between our true nature and our personality and our appearance, our ego structure, how we appear to the world. We have fear there. Fear to be attractive, fear to attract attention, fear to find ourselves out of control, because one thing we can say about true nature is that it can't be controlled. The moment we try to dictate love, we move into something else altogether. We move into adoration. The moment we try to say this is free and that's not free, we've lost all connection with freedom. We try to start to push freedom around and beat it up a bit, tell it where to stand, where it belongs, where it doesn't belong. True nature can't be controlled, and this is difficult for us at this stage in our human evolution, to feel out of control. Something which is so strong moving through us, like the depth and the power of the love that moves through us, that all the love that we've ever known in our whole lives, our love is actually fearful for some reason. As if we would die in it, as if we would attract trouble. And we look around at our prophets and at famous people and at our politicians, and we see them getting scorned, beaten up, blackened, crucified. So maybe, you know, there's something to ponder here. What's this about? Is it possible to be ourselves as true nature in this world? Is it possible to bring little droplets of heaven from the depths of our heart, of the life which is alive, of the whole universe moving through us, into life, even into a small room full of people? Is it possible? Is it allowed? Is it advisable? You know, what's going on? Why are we reflexively holding back, closing it down? Why can we be just a little bit happy, but not really happy? Not guffaringly happy? Not rock the whole station happy in Rotterdam? Just a little bit. Why are we so mean with true nature? It's interesting because when you begin talking about something like charisma, it looks like what we're going to, it looks like one great big ego trip, you know, how to be charismatic. Hey, I am Roxy Music, you know. But actually, while we might adore or admire charismatic people, we also scorn them. We're waiting for them to fail. We're looking for them to be exposed. You know, one day a big non-dual teacher arises, like the one in Portugal, and he's all the razzmatazz. A few weeks later, A few months later, a few years later, he's shamed, he's scorned, and people are having a party over his disgrace. Because there's almost like a defensiveness, a protection that wants to purify any kind of fake true nature that shows up there. But there's also something really nasty which says, if we can't be free in our true nature, then nobody else should be either. We're going to prove that true nature cannot be here in freedom. This rejection test, but maybe it's a healthy test. Surely one of our greatest fears is in showing up from the depth of an authenticity of our love, is that we'll be rejected. But then, if we really look into that, what kind of love is rejectable? Really? Can we reject love? Love is a non-dual quality, like life. Can we reject life? Are we sure that we can reject it? Just like you can go around killing everybody, but aren't we killing corpses? Doesn't life go on? Isn't there still life? Same with love. If we can reject love, it means we can control love, which means the love was never real. It was a fake love. So you see how tricky relationship we have between the personality and the true nature, between the mind and the essence. Because the moment we're fearing rejection, what's actually happening is the personality is trying to claim universal love or universal peace or universal care for itself. And then, of course, it fears rejection because it doesn't belong to the personality. It doesn't belong to the physique. It doesn't belong to the appearance. Sure, love, freedom, peace, true nature can be reflected through all of those, but it's not held by it. It's not because we have a nice body that we can transmit love. Love is love. It's unrejectable. There is rejection and there is love. They exist at the same time. The rejection doesn't say anything about love. It's a whole illusion of circulating cruelty in another dimension. So when we move into the world and we say, okay, let's try a moment of charisma. Let true nature shine through us as a service. Take the courage to be here now, opening the heart to allow the light of the universe to transmit itself, be present. It's that simple. And then what comes forward, if what comes forward from some corner is rejection, that's actually something we can use strategically to show us where true nature is not free in us, where we are rejecting aspects of true nature, where we are rejecting true nature by identifying with it and trying to make it our own. Where we're trying to take the universal peace of the oceans, the peace of the skies, the peace of the universe as it's moving through us, through ourselves as a vibration. And we're saying, this is Georgie peace, and if you don't like it, then it's the end of the world. We're claiming it. So the fear of rejection or the pain of rejection can actually be a red flag that tells us, okay, relax even more into peace and let rejection be rejection. Let the peace be there. Peace is not our peace, it's a power moving through us. The love is not our love, it's a power moving through us. Sometimes it's receptive, so much so that we almost disappear. Sometimes it's a force moving through us. Can we cultivate the ability to be that channel? So how to move into this place of charisma, just as a place to play with it, to contemplate it in ourselves, in others. Because it's a quality, the first and most important step is to be here now, is to allow ourselves to be present here, physically, not floating so much. It can be also floating, but to feel the physicality, the transmission of the physical. Now, being here now, in the here and now, immediately starts a vibration of true nature. Immediately there is a charismatic arousal. It's like a yumminess.
Hoi, het lijkt erop. It looks like Georgie is frozen. In
Yeah,
yes, in pure charisma. So maybe we take a little break, a 5 minute break. And after 5 minutes, we will start with the guided meditation.
it is a beautiful smile she has now.
Very beautiful. But I think she's on her way to come back. Because, again, now you see me. And what we're going to do, I think, is just a 5 minute break. So I see you in 5 minutes. So, welcome back, everybody. It's so good to see you all again. So, let's move into the guided meditation. If you could find a position in which you can relax your body. And when you found a comfortable position, I'd like you to connect with where your body is supported by the chair or the couch, the floor, the mattress. And maybe it is possible to relax your body even more into this support. And then I would like you to spend some time just around the question, how do I feel myself right now? How do I sense myself right now? What is happening in my body? And then I'd like you to kind of move back to the support of the chair, the couch, the mattress, the floor. And just allow yourself to sink into this support. And then I'd like you to regress back to a moment that you witnessed another person expressing his or her talents or qualities. So we're regressing back to a moment that we were witnessing another person to express his talents or her talents and qualities. And when we are back in such a moment, how does your body react on this? How does your heart react? How does your mind react? Are there any beliefs or judgments? And then I would like you to connect with the atmosphere which is there between you and this other person. And connecting with the atmosphere between you and the other person, maybe it's possible to focus on the atmosphere. Just allowing the other person to disappear. Allowing yourself to disappear. Just allowing the atmosphere to be there. And maybe it's possible to breathe in this atmosphere to all the cells of your body. And then again, I'd like you to kind of relax bring our attention to the support, the couch, the chair, the mattress, the floor. And maybe it's possible to allow your body to even more deeply relax into this support. And then I would like you to regress back to a moment in your life that you were shining in your qualities, shining in expressing a talent. A moment that you were shining. And moving back in this moment, how was your body reacting? How was your heart reacting? And how was your mind reacting? Or any beliefs or judgments coming forward? And I'd like you to connect back with this atmosphere, this energy, when you were shining in expressing your qualities, your talents. And maybe you can just connect with the atmosphere of it, this vibration. And connecting with this atmosphere, the vibration. Maybe it's possible to breathe this vibration in to all the cells of the body. And we breathe out whatever wants to release. We breathe in this atmosphere to all the cells of the body. And we breathe out whatever needs to release. Then I'd like you to connect again to this atmosphere of you shining in the expression of your talents, in your qualities. And when we kind of, are becoming conscious, aware of this atmosphere, what kind of qualities can you recognize in this? Which inner core qualities, qualities of true nature, can you recognize in this moment? I'd like you to take some time to connect with each quality separately. And just allow it to grow inside yourself. And then share it with the universe. So we are connecting with each quality separately, allowing it to grow inside ourselves. And then we share it with the universe. Then I'd like you to bring your conscious awareness again to where the body is supported by the chair, the couch, the mattress, the floor. And maybe it's possible to allow ourselves to relax even more deep into this support. And then I'd like you to connect with the word charisma. We are connecting with the word charisma. And connecting with the word charisma, what is the feeling association with it? How do you experience this energy? And how do you relate to this energy? Mm. Does your body react to this energy? And then I'd like you to circle back to the word charisma. Are we able to connect to the word charisma? And maybe it's possible in your mind to give this word all the space and time. To allow the word to move as it wants to move. And then again, very, very slowly, we connect with the atmosphere which is behind the word. We connect with the atmosphere which is behind the word charisma. And how do you experience the atmosphere? Does it has a color? Does it have a sound? Does it have a smell? A taste? Are we able to touch it? Able to touch this vibration? And can we allow to be touched by this vibration? And can we allow to be touched by this vibration? Okay, it's time to say goodbye to the people who are watching online. And for us here in the group, we take a 5-minute break. And after 5 minutes, we will come back for some questions and sharing, and of course, the peace meditation. Bye bye.